with you? She tripping, nigga. Drop her back. Drive off. Drive the fuck off. She's letting me fight. I don't got no gun on me. I don't got no gun. I don't got a gun. No, can you please turn? Can you please turn?
You're watching Key Talk Media.
It don't matter. She trying to get me some shit with a nigga in the road rage situation, bro. And I don't got no gun on me. I don't got no gun. I can't fucking fight. Have you ever seen me fight?
You don't always need a gun.
Have you ever seen me fight? I cannot fight. I'm telling you that shit. Do not believe in me. What the fuck is wrong with you? God damn, drive the fucking car. Fuck.
See, this is something that you see me talk about quite a bit, but I'm glad I got something to illustrate this point finally. You know, a lot of chicks will cause conflicts with men. They will escalate the conflicts with men. And then when things escalate to a certain point, they reach to males for them to handle the situation that they created with another man. It is insane. And there are a lot of different reasons for this. But before we get into any of it, please put a like on the vid. So when you look at this situation here, we don't know what happened. We don't know who cut who off. We don't know what the situation is. We just know, and this could likely be the case. It could have been started by the guy in the other car, or it could have been started by the woman deciding to, initiate the situation. But one thing is for certain, it was not started by the guy in the passenger seat. So they get into this road rage situation, and then what happens? Regardless how it goes, she begins to escalate it. And even with this guy yelling and screaming and stuff like that, she still wants the situation to get handled, knowing that she's not going to be the one to handle it. Guess what? He even tried to squash the situation by looking over her and saying, bruh, this ain't got nothing to do with me, and told her to drive. That's how the clip starts off. Now, you could say he's a coward. You could say anything, but like it mentioned in the post, self-preservation is the first thing. And that's something that men innately understand. That's something that we don't go against the grain on. We don't pick fights that we know we're going to lose, or pick fights with the intention of getting somebody else to fight them. We don't do that. Only people who do that, and this is me being 100,000, the only people who do that is typically groups of criminals. And it might be somebody higher up in the criminal hierarchy, or it might be somebody at the bottom rung to where they have a bunch of guys and goons that they could get regardless. But usually the guys who do that and expect like other men to handle their situation, or even to help them handle their situation, is gangsters. That's really it. Now, when we talk about regular people, most dudes are going to stand on their square and handle their own business. And this is the key part. This is the key part. Guys know themselves. They know where they stack up to the person that the conflict is about to happen with. Even then, they know if they are prepared or unprepared. They know or if they are willing or unwilling. And guys are not going to pick a fight that they know they're going to lose. Now, when it comes to a guy getting disrespected, even if he doesn't want to fight, that's a different thing. That's a different thing, especially depending on the context. For example, you get disrespected in a prison, that's gladiator camp. So you have to do, you have to not be disrespected by everybody else and turn into a doormat. You have to stand on your square. But if you at the YMCA and it's a dude that you know is like a killer or something like that, and he disrespects you in a certain type of way, it's not gladiator. Everybody's not going to start to disrespect you. If you know you're not willing to take it that far, I don't care how people listen to it and how they think it sounds or anything like that. You may set a boundary. You may say something back. But the one thing you're not going to do is try and escalate that situation with somebody that you know is willing to take it further than you're willing to take it, and who has taken it further than you ever took it. Like, it's not worth it over words in a situation where you in society and stuff like that, and it's regular. So I could go on and on about that, but it's very simple, man. Guys size up the situation. They know where they stand. They know who they are. They know what they're capable of. And they're not going to pick a problem that they can't handle. The key word is pick, meaning they're not going to initiate it. And even outside of initiating it, they're not going to escalate it if they know it's something that they can't handle. These are just facts. You see it all the time, especially if you've been around violent people and stuff like that. Like you know what it is. You'll see one guy bullying somebody this week, but then when it comes to somebody else getting on them that is far superior, they fold. That bully will fold. You've seen this before, even on the internet. And this is the thing. There is no societal protective veil around men. It's just not. So if you were getting your ass whooped in the street, something crazy, cats are just gonna watch. And they gonna record. And that's it. And even after it's done, who really gonna see something wrong with it? It just is what it is. Now, as far as a chick, if it begins to even escalate where the guy wants to put hands on her, and this is just me being real when it comes to this, if the guy is stronger than all the other guys there, nobody's going to do nothing but they're going to look like, oh, man, that's messed up. That's wrong. But if there is even one guy who is stronger than the guy that's doing that, or that is even just compelled enough to protect the woman, they're going to step up. They're going to step up. That's just what it is, because in society, that's how it works. You're not supposed to harm a woman at all physically. That's just what it is. And that's perfectly okay. I agree with that. So don't try and twist this. No time. I agree with that. But this is the thing. Women abuse that. Women abuse the restraint that men are supposed to have, the societal veil that they have of protection. They abuse that and then get into it with guys who they have no chance of winning any conflict with physically. So you see this guy in the car, he has self-awareness. He knows he can't fight, and then he also knows I don't have a gun. So if we pull over and we get out this car, I'm cooked no matter what way it goes. This guy could shoot me, he could pistol whip me, or he could just beat me hand to hand. He could even stab me. Whatever the case may be, the end result is going to be me getting harmed because I have no confidence in my ability to protect myself in this situation. The woman never thought of that because she has a guy in the car. It's his job to fight her battles. That's how her mind frame is. It's his job to fight the battles that she picks. So she never even thought, my guy got a burner, or, oh yeah, he got them hands. She never thought any of that. She just thought, I'm mad, so I'm going to react how I'm going to react, and that's it. We're just going to do that. So I could continue and drag this out, but listen, the two things I got to say, man, and this is just real. I say that a lot, but it's just real. So the first thing is, be prepared to protect your woman, but don't let her create a situation where she has to be protected. So that's the first thing. Just be prepared to protect her, because there are some dudes out here who are predators who like to pick fights with women. And when it comes down to it, as far as being a man, I might talk about the provider stuff and question it on occasion and stuff like that. One thing you will never see me question at all is a man's role to protect a woman. Now, this is the thing. Their woman, specifically their woman. It is not your obligation or anything of that nature to protect a random woman. If you decide to do that, congratulations, good job to you. But that woman is not your responsibility. If you have a woman that you are with, it is your responsibility to protect that woman. No matter how people try to shame me for saying that or anything, like you should just be protecting all women and stuff like that. Listen, this whole video, the whole premise of this video is women creating situations that they want other men to handle. So just think about that before you just say, oh man, guys should be out here crashing out for any woman in any situation with a man. So just think about that for a second. But the second thing, so when it comes down to that, let's just establish that you should protect your woman. You should protect your family, regardless. If this is a woman that is with you, she came with you, you got to protect her. Like, that's period. And that even goes outside of your girl. If you got a female friend and you with her, or you even with a coworker, you came with her or whatever, if she is with you, you got to protect her. That's just what it is in these situations and stuff like that. Not these situations, but in situations where somebody is coming and trying to do the most and she didn't provoke any type of situation. But the other thing that we got to, establish and make clear, do not let these chicks create a situation. If they begin to create a situation, an escalated situation, that is bad. If you got to tell them to stop talking to this dude or not respond, whatever it is, then you do that. And if he keep being on it and y'all trying to ignore him, you speak up. You do what you got to do. If you're out somewhere and a dude grab your girl's butt, you absolutely have to address that. You absolutely have to address that in some way, shape, or form. I don't care if it's just verbally. You cannot let that slide. The only way I say you let it slide, and this is just me being honest again, is if you know you are not capable to handle that threat at all. And even then, that's going to be something emasculating. If it's just one guy and he's not with 6 other guys or not, something like that, you need to question why you were even in an environment where that could happen in the first place. If you were not prepared to, protect your woman in that type of situation. So that's the first thing. Be prepared to protect her and don't let her create situations. I'm not going to lie. We just going to say that's 1 and 2 and we just going to leave in a moment. But I just want to say one story real quick that you've heard me say on the channel if you watch all my videos and stuff like that. But I got to keep highlighting it. There was a woman, and I think this was in Chicago. It was somewhere in the Midwest for sure. But she's in a hot dog spot arguing with a guy. She's with her 14-year-old son, a boy, arguing with a grown man that is stronger than her and her son combined, much taller. They are arguing. One of the things this man says is, bitch, if you keep talking, I'm going to knock your block off. Basically saying he's going to punch her. What does she do? Instead of shutting up, instead of recognizing, you know what, I'm outmatched in this situation. That ego and pride, she sends her boy, her son, over a verbal altercation to go and get the gun out the car. And what does she do? She keep running that mouth. Guess what he does? He did something he wasn't supposed to do. He hit her. He warned her and he hit her because she didn't heed to the warning. That boy comes in and kills that man who put his hands on his mom. Now, everybody can admit it's very simple. That man was wrong for putting his hands on that woman. You can even argue that he should have never even threatened her. I would agree with that, actually. But the society that we live in, everything is not ideal. You're not going to have some people, like, there are guys who are horrible people out here. So that's the reality that we live in. But when you look at the situation on the other side, one thing that could have de-escalated it is if she had to shut up. Because when you look at it, if that was a man and he kept talking and then he got beat, he got the brakes beat off him, everybody would be okay with it. It'd be like, well, talk shit, fuck around and find out. That's what it would be. If it was a man and the other man that punched the woman, he told that man, yo, listen, if you keep talking, I'm going to knock your head off. And the guy kept talking and then the guy beat him up. Nobody's going to see a problem with that. They're going to record it. It's going to go on World Star. Nobody's going to intervene. And that's going to be that. He's going to get his hot dog and he goes home. Another thing is, a guy is not going to send a son to go and get a Glock. And that's where everything went wrong with that situation. Because at the end of the day, now blood is on your son's hands because you couldn't shut your mouth. You couldn't recognize that you couldn't fuck with this dude. And you couldn't recognize that you weren't prepared to handle the situation. You couldn't recognize that you weren't going to handle the situation. And you continued to escalate it and put the situation in your son's hands. Now blood is on your son's hands. Your son got a body, all because you have an ego and you just wanted to keep on talking and you was emotional and you was mad. Nicki Minaj, she congratulated, the boy for smoking this grown man. And we could look at it like, yeah, he's protecting his mom. But this is the thing, man. You could ask where the dad is at, but it's the mom's job to protect the fucking kids. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? It is the mom's job to protect the kids. A 14-year-old is not a fucking man. So I just had to tell that story because it goes hand in hand in the situation and it illustrates the point that women will write a check that they expect you to cash with your ass, whether you prepared to handle it or not, whether it's going to cause you trauma for the rest of your life or not, whether it's going to put you in jail or not. Do not let chicks put you in these situations. I quoted Patrice O'Neal in my last video about turmoil and stuff like that. I'm going to quote him again. He had a story where his girl was going off on this bigger dude, and then he just walked away. He just walked away while she was in the mid-confrontation with the bigger dude. And she ran up on him. Why are you walking away? That man could have, and he cut her off. He could have what? He could have what? Because at the end of the day, that crossed her mind, but in her mind the whole time, it was that he shouldn't because of the social contract, but also I got my guy here. So my guy is going to handle this situation. That's what it was. Don't let these chicks put you in these situations, bro. That being said, I'm out. Please put a like on the vid if you haven't already. Be sure to comment your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new here. I appreciate y'all.